late today. We've been having a few technical difficulties on our channel, but we do have some videos that we are getting ready to post, hopefully maybe today, probably tomorrow, but we're going to do a live today with some demos, so we'll see how that goes. First of all, today for our virtual spirit week is your favorite cup day. So you all know that I have multiple cups around the room because I lose them. And I wish you guys were here to help me find them. My kids aren't as good at that. But I have, it's okay. They're looking at me like, that's not right, Mom. So I have my purple cup that I always have, my Rocco Butler cup because I miss you guys, my Ocean City cup because I'm hoping I actually can get to the beach this summer. Who knows? Rosalie has her mustache mug. And Sean has his Avengers mug that turns colors. If I had some hot water, I would show you, but I don't. So, yeah, so these are our Spirit Week for today. Tomorrow is your Showcase Your Pet Day. We don't have a pet right now, so I'm going to be showcasing some of my favorite stuffed animals, so stay tuned for those. And maybe we'll do a drawing project with our stuffed animals or your pets, whatever you have. So that is what's coming up for that. My sketchbook prompt yesterday was my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I sent it to a few of you because you guys have been sending me yours. Thank you so much. I want to see more of your drawings and your creations coming in. Today, choose your sketchbook prompt and go ahead and get that sent to me. I haven't decided which one I want to do yet, so I am going to go back and look at my list. But I think I might do something with, in honor of my daughter's dancing in front of me right now. That's so rude. In honor of our Spirit Week Day, maybe I'll draw some still lifes of my cups over here. All right. So today what we're going to do are some marbling techniques with some paper so that we can do some cool things. So you're going to need a few items, and most of the items you should be able to easily have. You're going to need 2 pans, one for each kind of marbling. I have water in this one, and it's kind of dirty right now, but it's because of some of my practices so that you can see it. You're going to need some chalk. Now these are regular pastels, but if you have sidewalk chalk, that should work too. It's just going to be a little bit lighter. I have some paper that are cut to fit my tray. This can be a baking sheet, it can be a cake pan, it can be whatever you have. You're going to be able to wash it and it will be fine. Okay? For this, and this is some examples of my chalk pastels. You're also going to need some kind of fix. So I'm using some hairspray. So if you have some hairspray, it can be the cheap stuff, just so it's aerosol. If it's the pump kind, you might get spots. For the second one, marbling technique, we're going to do some shaving cream marbling. So this is just the foam shaving cream. If your dad has some that he'll let you borrow, you can try it. The stuff girls use, the jelly stuff, doesn't work as well, or at all. So don't use that. So you can use the foam. If you have foam stuff, go for it. So we'll do that. And you're also going to need some watercolors for that. Now this is my crazy watercolor palette, but any watercolors will do. But you want to make it, get the water going on it so that it can start to soften that paint so that it is ready for you. All right, so I'm going to put a little more water on those colors that I wanted. All right, so for the first one, what you're going to do is you're going to take your water, okay, and you are going to take your pastels and whatever color you want to do, and you're going to take something to scrape that with. You can use, I'm using a pair of scissors. You could also use a popsicle stick. These are teeny tiny popsicle sticks, but they'll work just fine. You could use a butter knife, whatever. But just like you're peeling a carrot, if you've ever peeled a carrot, you're gonna, oh, that's a nice sound. You're gonna scrape that chalk onto your water, and you can see how it kind of floats there a little bit. And the way that that floats, you can see how it kind of moves that water around a little bit, because the water, the film on that water is holding that pastel on there, and it's floating for us. So I'm going to put a couple other colors in here. Now I'm not going to go crazy, because if you want to write on this or draw on it, you don't want it to have too much texture, or it might mess up your marker. So then I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to fold it like a U, and I'm going to put that down. Oops, and I'm going to let that sit right on top of my paper. And when it starts to curl up a little bit, you don't want to really press this down. I got a little on the top there. Just let it float. And then you're going to pick that up and you're going to see what you get there. Now I'm going to kind of tap some of that off. Now where I didn't have any chalk, my paper stays white. I'm going to let that sit to dry. And you could do another one here. I could even take my popsicle stick and kind of gently move that around, but once it sinks, it's not gonna do anything. So we'll see if I can pull a second one. I have a lot of open space in there. Let's put some green in there and see what happens with our purple. Now you can think about your color wheel too, and what colors are going to look good together. So right now I got some cool colors happening here. I got purple, I got green. Let's put a little blue on there. Let's see what we got. So that time I used some scissors. So I'm going to fold this a little bit, lay it right down on there, make sure it's touching, and when it starts to curl up on me a little bit, I'm going to pick it up by a corner and peel that off. And you can see I've got a lot of really cool marbled designs on my paper. And then once that dries, like I have here, and this already has a couple coats of hairspray on it, I'm just going to give that a little spritz. And then when it's dry, like these, if I wanted to, I could take a Sharpie I don't know if I spelled correctly, and I could make a little poster for my wall. Just breathe. Okay, so that's one type of marbling. The other type of marbling I want to look at is shaving cream marbling. Now this one is kind of messier and a little more fun. Well, this was fun too, but all right. So what I'm going to do is take my shaving cream, shake it up. I'm going to put just a little on my pan, and you can see how it expands and foams up. You don't need a ton, okay? But after you do that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to press that out into kind of like a table. Don't get your whole hand. You don't need to do that. And plus it just melts it and makes it go away. So you just want to use a little bit, and you can reuse that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my watercolor, and like I said, I got it kind of wet. I'm going to drip my watercolor just on top. I'm not digging into that shaving cream. I want it to sort of sit on the top of what I got going on there. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little blue in there because it's right here. And I'm picking up that really liquid watercolor that I let sit. Now this is the way the watercolor, like I tell you, make sure your watercolor is thin in class. this is not, I want it to be wet, but I want the pigment to be concentrated so that we can see it when we're done. Okay, now I could put my paper on top of that right now and it would look like polka dots. But we're going to do some marbling here. So I'm going to put a little bit more on here. Let that drip in there. Then I'm going to take my popsicle stick or my knife or my pencil, whatever you're using, and you can just a little bit. You're dragging that through, okay? I'm not covering my whole stick there. I'm just sort of moving this paint around. And then I'm going to take my piece of paper and I'm going to put this on top. And this one I have to press a little bit more, okay? So I'm kind of transferring that paint to my paper. So I'm pressing that down. Then I'm going to peel this off, okay? And now you have to scrape it. So I'm going to take my popsicle stick again, and I'm going to scrape all of my shaving cream off. And I'm going to have a print, okay? So you can keep reusing this shaving cream even though it's got color in it already. The next one is just going to have a little bit more of a background. So I can put my colors on there and drip it in. Make sure it's liquidy. Now if you're using like a pan of Crayola crayon or watercolors or Prang watercolors like we have at school or something like that, you really have to make sure that your color is concentrated so that it's going on there. Ideally we would use some liquid watercolor like we have in our spray bottles at school, but not many of us have that on hand. All right, so we'll just do this last one, and then I hope to see some marbled papers, some sketchbook designs, all kinds of stuff from you today. I really miss you guys, and I want to see your artwork. All of you 8th graders out there that are watching, and all of you 6th graders out there, your clay projects are still in limbo. 8th graders, they should be good and dry by the time we go back. There won't be any blowing up there. And 6th graders, you guys will be able to do your monsters when we go back. So I'm going to go ahead and marble this. See what happens if I go zigzaggy sideways. And then these papers you could use to write notes on. You could, like we did with the other one, you can make a poster on it. You could make them covers for a sketchbook. You could do a collage picture where you cut other kinds of papers together and glue them into a picture. Maybe I'll do that with some of these. Oh, I think I'm gonna like this one. Okay, but you do want to try to get that shaving cream off. And then let it dry. All right, guys, I hope you had fun watching. I hope you be creative, make lots of stuff. Make sure you send them to me. I miss you guys. I want to hear from you. See you tomorrow.